To begin with the beginning, I wanted to ask you, this is interview with Cyrille and Laurent Berger, I wanted to ask you both how it all started, if you could tell us about your epiphany, how you came to art and architecture.
Wow. But what I mean, if we can already tell that I do visual art, serial architecture, that was our first background, and since 4 years we have decided to work together, and that was in a different context. First, we didn't know that we will go through different experiences together and creating sort of project after project. That was really the first, from a first input of our first project. That was in the context of theater, and I was asked to do sort of a set which was taking place in one special theater where we used the whole rooms, different rooms, and we were crossing the whole rooms with the audience, and at one point we decided to create a movie theater in there. And for this I asked Cyrille to be part of the creation team, and then we build up the movie theater together. Design it and place it. Yeah.
Can you maybe tell me about your inspirations? Who are your heroes or artists or architects who inspire you?
Some of those are exhibited right now here, but there are a few French like Soros or Philippe Ram. I used to work for a while, and so as soon as I left from one of these guys, I studied with Laurent, and I studied kind of really soon after leaving this office.
And your contribution to this year's Biennale takes the form actually of a prefabricated movie theater. I was wondering what interested you first about this architectural space of a movie theater, and what's the significance of a movie theater as a prefab space?
Yeah, the idea was really to be able to travel. That's also because it was really as a context in the theater, and as a theater context, it's always like making a tour and showing different places and venues, and so it's how we decided that it will be prefabricated, and then but finally we decided we thought that was maybe a new way of showing movies, also by just set up 5 days, and then you have like a real screening possible, and under nice conditions in any places. So basically this. Yeah.
I think the interesting thing also about finally this kind of nomadic architecture, it's not so much about fantasy about this condition of living, about nomadic, that it was much more about the opportunity to concentrate about the shape of the architecture itself. It means that paradoxically this nomadic object has a sense without any context. It's also what does it mean? It was presented in now a few places, and what the goal of this project is also to emphasize the autonomy of architecture without any context also.
So yeah, so the question of being in one space, so it's like sort of creating a space in another space. So it's always creating the relationship between the context and when you're inside, you're out of the context. It's sort of and to do it in a simpler way. Basically, also we use that normal traditional podiums, and we use the traditional structure to stand and all these kind of things, but and we just put like a simple origami envelope over it, and the system is quite very simple to build a an architecture, and that was also sort of something we liked a lot. That in each time we show a project, we like that it's really an architecture or a space to live. We are not used to show models or things like this. It's more usually installations or objects to live and be experienced. And that's one point that we are trying to achieve here, that it's something that has to be strong, but also in a way of we select the films, that the films is becoming an experience to live in this movie theater. So it becomes really creating a relationship between a film and between a space. So our project is quite in between. It's not only doing an envelope, but it's also, I don't know, curating, it's a big word. It's something we're discovering here. It's just for us, but it's just trying to say something through a selection of films also.